Laugh out loud, it's the place to be, where geeky minds meet so naturally. From pixel legends to blockbuster heart, dive right in, let's set this vibe apart.
Whoa, 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 whoa. We're doing this again, aren't we, Ben? Oh, wait, no, whoops, right here. Hold up. We're doing this again, aren't we, Gary? Gary, welcome to the GM show.
Oh, the GM show, because you said it wrong like 2 weeks ago, and you don't remember.
Yes. So this is a new guy. This is Gary.
No.
He sounds a lot like Ben. He looks a lot like Ben. He even uses the image of Ben, but Gary is his own person.
Yes. He is his own person, and he is not me.
Yep. So, oh my gosh. So we got a little special thing before we get started in here. So tonight we got our topic's gonna be. You know what? We're gonna wait on talking about the topic because I just realized I don't think I turned the light on outside my house. I gotta go do that. And Ben, you have a little special treat for us tonight, I believe, right?
Yes, I have a. Excuse me, I have the cough. Hold on.
Yeah. He has a cold for us all. So please get close to your computer so you get infected by the virus.
Cause I gotta get down with the sickness. Somebody was sick today, and I hugged them. I'm like, I'm gonna get sick now again.
Yeah.
All right, so you gotta step away.
I'm gonna step away. It's only gonna take me a second, but what do we got, Ben?
All right, so oh shoot, I had a lead into this too, and I forget what I wanted to do with the lead in. You ever watch Growing Pains?
I have watched Growing Pains, yes.
Do you remember Growing Pains? Like around the third season, he had that one teacher who was bald and always made jokes. He was like a gym teacher or whatever. He'd be like the filling in for other teachers.
No, I don't, but it sounds like my gym teacher.
Well, his name was Coach Lubbock. And at the end of the third season of Growing Pains, they do an episode where Mike follows Coach Lubbock home and learns about his home life and learns that he has 7 kids with one on the way, and he's about to lose his job at the school because they're not renewing his contract. It's actually kind of funny because it's one of those episodes where like we didn't fire you, we're not renewing your contract. Well, how is that different than firing me?
So let's clarify something. Let's clarify something right now.
Yeah.
So you said he has 7 kids with one on the way. So there might just be that one person listening out there that isn't sure exactly what you're referring to, whether you mean one kid that's going to be born soon or one kid that's maybe on the way home from going to the malt shop with his girlfriend.
Not just like one that's going to be born. That's usually what you mean by when you say it that way. But I'll clarify. Yes, he has 7 children.
Thank you.
And his wife is pregnant with the 8th one. And this is these episodes are what's called a backdoor pilot. And this backdoor pilot was this is when you can go and get your thing over at the door done, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Just the 10 of Us is a 1988 TV sitcom on ABC starring, I'm doing this on the fly because I couldn't get a script together.
No problem.
Starring Bill Kirchenbauer as Coach Graham T. Lubbock, Deborah Harmon, and here's where it gets interesting, Heather Langenkamp as Marie Lubbock. There is a strong connection to a movie series called A Nightmare on Elm Street. A Nightmare on Elm Street Parts 1 and I believe Parts 4 both have the character of Nancy, who is played by Heather Langenkamp. God, I'm probably saying her name wrong. Other people in it is Jamie Luner, who is my favorite, Brooke Thies, who plays Wendy, and we got Joanne Willett, Matt Shackman, Heidi Ziegler. It's a long cast. These are a lot of kids. And what I do like about this show, okay, so this is an interesting story with this show. The show came out in 1988, like I said. It ran for 3 seasons. The first season was only 4 episodes. It was literally like not even a mid-season replacement. This was a late season replacement. They literally brought him in for 4 episodes at the end of the season and then went and had them come back in the fall with a brand new season of like 20 episodes. This show was popular. It was very popular. It was popular for a couple of reasons. Number one, it was funny. It was from the same people who did Growing Pains. The theme song is the same band who does the Growing Pains theme, but they bring in another singer who did another song. He did the Dirty Dancing song, and they brought him in to do the theme song. The theme song is really banging, and it's a story of Coach Lubbock. He is brought in as a coach to a all boys Catholic high school in California. They're moving from New York to California because they were living in a small apartment. Now they have a house. That's part of the teacher's salary as he gets a house. And he has all these kids. And I don't know what the original premise of the show was. Maybe it was to make him the central character. And at first he is the central character, but it ends up becoming an ensemble show about the 4 teenage girls. And I haven't got that far in my rewatch of it. I'm only about 10 episodes in, so it's still like doing the whole family thing, but the girls are starting to come out as being the stars of the show. And it really is this Heather Lakenkamp, Jamie Luner, Brooke Thies, and Joanne Willett. Their characters of Marie, Cindy, Wendy, and Connie get together to form a singing group and then end up becoming what a big part of what the show's about because the girls are attractive.
Mhm.
And it really comes like I remember watching this and being in love with the girls and thinking he was funny. Oh yeah, he's funny, and I like the jokes that he does. But the girls, oh. And there's a big storyline that's coming up in season 3 that I haven't got to yet, and it has to do with one of the girls loses their virginity. This is back when this is a show where they pray. God is part of the show. There's a cross on the set that you can see on camera. So there's a religious undertone to this program. So the big thing is, oh my God, one of them lost her virginity. Now, the whole thing is they think it's either Cindy or Wendy. Cindy and Wendy are twins, and they're both insanely boy crazy. So it's obviously one of them, right? It ends up being somebody else, ends up being the older sister who is the more religious one. She's the one who's played by the girl who played Nancy on a Nightmare on Elm Street Part 1 and Part 4. 3 of the 4 girls are alumni from Nightmare on Elm Street movies, including Brooke Thies. She was one of them. I don't remember which one. And so was Joanne Willett. She was also in one of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. Jamie Luner, she would later go on and be in Melrose Place. So what happened to this show? This is bullshit. Miller Boyett. Who is Miller Boyett? They are the people who made Full House. They are the people who made Family Matters. They're the people who made all the shows that are basically associated with TGIF. So they make this show, Just the 10 of Us, from a different production company. It's from the production company, like I said, who made Growing Pains. It is from, it's not, here it is. It's from Gunsell Sullivan Marshall Productions instead of being from Miller Boyett, right? So they put them on Friday nights. They are the only show on TGIF that is not Miller Boyett. Miller Boyett's contract comes up. They put it in the contract that they get full control over Friday night. They take instead of taking Just the 10 of Us and moving it back to Tuesday and putting it back with Growing Pains, they just get rid of the show. And it ends up biting them because the show they replaced it with only lasted half a season or maybe a whole season. I don't even know. I don't remember it. They end up replacing it eventually with Step by Step, which is the same show without the religious undertones. It's actually not even the same show. It is the same show in essence, but it's basically a redoing of the Brady Bunch. And it actually was pretty decent, and I actually really liked Step by Step. But I would rather that Step by Step and Just the 10 of Us could exist at the same time. And it kind of did because reruns of the show, it was sold to the USA Network. And that's when I really watched the hell out of the show. And I think a lot of other people did too. And it was one of the things where even the executive who made the decision to cancel the show, or at least one of them, came back later on and said that this was a huge mistake. We never should have canceled this program.
Yeah.
Because it really was pulling in good ratings. It was pulling in ratings from young men. Surprise, surprise.
Man, I'm imagining you had it on in like 5 different TVs in your one room.
Well, you got all, they literally called them the Lubbock Babes, was the name of the singing group.
Uh-huh.
And it was like, yeah, it was these 4 teenage actresses, or at least playing teenagers. I think actually they were all probably of age actually, but they always played people younger. And that was like, I just remember like I was like totally into it because I was like, that was the time when I'm discovering girls, and all of a sudden here's this show. And what a good show to have to introduce to somebody in a way, because like I said, it did have the religious undertones. There was always the whole thing of like the mother on the show is like super like, well, she's not actually, no, she's like kind of super religious, and compared to like other people, compared to people I know, none of these people no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. They are religious, but it's like it's nice to have that in a program like this where here's hot girls, but oh, by the way, here is like a moral thing behind it. It's better than having Baywatch, where
Maybe that's here's how it.
no,
Maybe that's what got it taken off.
what's that?
Maybe that's what got it taken off, was the fact that it did actually have morals rather than being just an entertainment show where people could sit down and soak it in and don't even think.
They all had morals though. But here's an example of one of the stories. There's a story where the mother is every morning, apparently she goes out into the park and into I keep saying I was about to say parking lot. It's a driveway. She goes out into her driveway and she gets on her knees and she prays to God.
Mm-hmm.
And one morning she's doing it and God answers her, like to her audibly. Nobody else hears it, including the audience. We don't hear what God says. Only her character does. And she tells the family, and simply because it's mom and we love mom, we're going to listen to her and we're going to pretend that we believe her because it's mom. So they're treating it that way. They're like, okay, we'll go out with you tomorrow morning, mom, and we'll pray with you because we think that, because we love you. Not for any other reason, but because we love you. And they go out with her every morning for day after day, and nothing happens. Nothing happens. And eventually the kids, the mother just goes and says, if you guys don't want to be out here, you don't have to be out here. And like they all stand up at the same time and they go in the house. Because it's a comedy. They're playing it for laughs. And it ends up becoming a news story somehow. And the reporters are there, and the entire time, every day that they're out there, even when the reporters aren't there, the priest from the school is on his morning jog, and he sees her, and he's like, why are you wasting your time? This is the priest basically blowing it off of, why are you even bothering trying to hear from God? Or you heard the voice of God, that's BS. You're not going to hear the voice of God, and da-da-da-da-da. And the last scene in the episode is when all the kids, they give up on it, and even her husband gives up, and they all go back in the house, and she says, I don't give up, God. I'm still going to be out here every single morning talking to you, and if you don't want to talk back to me, that's fine. And the priest hears all this, and she goes back into the house to go make breakfast, and he gets down on his knees in the same spot that she was at, and he looks up at the sky, and he says, thanks for the reminder, Lord. I'm here for you. If you want to talk to me, I'm here to listen. And it was like, this is like, what a great story. Because it's like, why was she getting all these messages? Why was this happening? Because that was one of the questions that was kind of like throughout the episode. Why is he talking to me? What is my greater purpose or whatever? And the whole purpose was, it was to remind the priest of his faith. And you don't see this in TV anymore.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, is that you look at, like, take G.I. Joe or He-Man. All of those are very well known for having, after the episode, having that life lesson, that moral to it. This had it as well too. They're phasing that out in place of shows that were just entertainment. I mean, you're probably not going to, when you start looking into like the 90s, you're probably not getting morals from shows like Friends or from shows like what is that, the nerd one, the Big Bang Theory,
Yeah.
like you would get from the shows that are in the 80s. So
Well,
there's a
these are shows where, like, the biggest thing that happens, the bad thing that happens the whole episode. There was one I just watched where, um, okay, so Coach Lubbock comes home and he's bringing the groceries in for his wife, and his wife just got home from the grocery store, and if they're making a joke where nobody, like, he knocks he has the bags in his hand, he can't open the door, so he hits it with his foot, like he's knocking with it with his foot. And one of his daughters comes out and she goes, "Oh," and he goes like, "Hey, can you go and help your mother with the groceries in the car?" And she goes, "Okay," and she leaves and she closes the door behind her. So now he's still back in the same position he was in. So he's like, "Oh, all right, I'm gonna open the door myself." And he's trying to juggle the bags, and then he's juggling the bags. He leans against the banister, and the banister falls. It breaks, and he falls back.
Yeah.
To find out why the banister is broken, they have a court case, a mock court case. He's the judge, and he has all the kids. They all testify. They all testify with their hand on the Bible, their left hand on the Bible, their right hand up as they testify. And they all tell the truth no matter what, even if it got them in trouble.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's so that's a these are just it's a really cool show. And like I said, it brings back all the memories of me watching it and knowing where the show is eventually going to go, where it really does, like I said, it weighs it heavily on the girls. But that's because that's where their ratings were coming from. So, it's on Friday night. You're going to get all the boys who have nothing else to do.
Yeah.
It's Friday night. And that's where they screwed up. Honestly, I was thinking about this. If they never moved the show away from Growing Pains, the show would have lasted a lot longer because that Friday night they moved it there and it probably did really well because of it. And it probably I wouldn't remember it if it wasn't on Friday night. But Friday night is what killed it because of that contract here's what Miller Boyett did with their next contract. This is the best one. So after they take this contract and they use it to screw over Just the 10 of Us, a couple years later, they signed a contract with CBS and they moved Step by Step and Family Matters from ABC over to a competing network.
Mm-hmm.
So after they went and not only screwed over one of their top rated shows, they moved their other 2 rated shows to another network. This is how cutthroat that business is.
So what did they put in its place?
Oh, when they moved them? Oh, I forget. I think they just
Otherworld.
they moved out Otherworld. They killed DGIF though. That's what killed it. Once they moved those 2 pros out of there, like it was done. Kind of done anyways. It was done when Full House was done.
Yeah.
But that was the abridged version of the history of Just the 10 of Us. I do recommend it if you can find it online. I'm working on. Somebody has a copy that they ran through one of those 4K up converter softwares. So they went to a website and they paid to have every single episode of Just a Ton of Us up converted to 1080p, which it doesn't make it like people don't get it. They think just because they up converted something, it looks amazing. I had a camera one time that was a quote unquote 1080p high definition camera. It still had the sensor for 240p. It just up converted it to 1080p, which means it did nothing. It still looked like crap. So these up converters, they look a little bit better, but what I've been doing is I've been color correcting them, and I'm going to be putting them up on my Blu-rays extras channel. And they'll be up there at some point. It takes a long time and it's boring to do, so it's taking forever.
Then you can see Just the 10 of Us.
Yeah, it's not the theme song. There's theme song.
That song came out, I think, a lot later than the show.
Yeah, no, this one is doing it the best I can, leaning on nobody but me. It's a jamming song.
I got too many mouths to feed.
You know what's funny is when they do the backdoor pilot in Growing Pains, one of the jokes is like, man, why does he have so many kids? He goes, I don't know, he's Catholic.
Mm.
And without even hearing that, I was describing the show to somebody, and I go, yeah, he has a bunch of kids, and I think it's just because he's Catholic.
So on that note, we ready to get into this one tonight?
Yes.
Alrighty. Did you say my hero?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is gonna be kind of a two-parter. We're doing the heroes tonight. Then next month we're gonna do the villains. So the topic tonight is our favorite gaming heroes. So we're talking about the awesome good guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and start out, and I'm gonna share my screen with the character, and then I'll stop sharing, and then you can share and so forth if you want to share. But this is the one that kind of got me the idea for saying, we got to finally get to this, because I've been tossing around the idea of the favorite villains for quite a while. But it seemed like the best place to start were heroes. And I think the one thing about this character that really I really like about this character is what I've done with this character. So, and of course, we always have the two series that always pop up. So yes, this is going to be from one of those two series. So that character would be this guy right here, which I got in his 16-bit form. Or if you want the other form of him, that's the drawing form. I prefer
The 16-bit version.
I like the 16-bit
version. Yeah, the other one, he looks like some stupid.
Oh yeah.
He just looks stupid.
So this, if you don't know who this is Setzer from Final Fantasy VI. And he is a character that I think gets pooped on a lot. And I think it's because people don't really understand how to use him 100% effectively. And I really hope the full Final Fantasy community hears me say that, because I'm sure that's going to be like, that's not true. I know everything about him, and you don't know anything at all. I've never really ran into anyone that's ever set him up the way that I set him up. And when I set him up that way, he just becomes this massive powerhouse character. I talked about this when we did the mix and mic dicks, sort of, because I explained how to set him up to get this specific item. Well, he gets a weapon that it's luck based or random based, but it has the tendency to do a lot of 9999s in the damage.
Oh, I thought you just said over and over again, no in German.
What's that?
I thought you just said no over and over again in German.
Yes. The enemy comes into battle and he goes, no, 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 and they walk away. So 9999 in damage.
No.
So what I figured out to do with him, now there's another item in this game, and it's funny because one of my buddies didn't set Setzer up to this way. He set up a different character. And he thought he made the most powerful character because this item lets your character attack random targets 4 times in one turn. And then what he did was, on his character, he put another item that let the character have 2 weapons. So he'd essentially attack the enemies twice. So he was doing like maybe 4,000 to 5,000 damage each attack. Now I could do pennies, or I could do 9999 4 times. But the bonus to this all, this is where no one really thinks about it. There's another item that's really easy to come by in the game. It's called the black belt. And what it does is, when that character who's wearing this item is attacked, they'll randomly counterattack. So I throw that on him as well too. And then anybody who attacks him has a big percent chance of forcing their buddies to eat 9999s randomly on 4 targets. So he just becomes insanely strong. So I'm sitting there going, please attack Setzer. Just go ahead and please attack Setzer. There's been battles where I walked into and they attacked him first out and he wiped the floor of them and I didn't even get a chance to go. So now his whole story and stuff, it's really cheesy. I don't care. What I care about is what I did with this character. So I don't know how much experience you've had with Final Fantasy VI. Have you played through it?
No, I watched somebody else play parts of it.
Okay. So yeah, so if you decide to pick it up, definitely I recommend doing what I did with this character and just destroy things left and right. Because the other characters you can put like 1 point magic on, he won't need it though, because he'll just be destroying everything. So that's my first character. So now I'm passing it over to you, Ben.
You just got a lot more louder. What did you do?
I got excited. I don't know.
All right, I'm actually setting up pictures here. But yeah, I can go. Let's see here. Where did I put that? There it is. So my first one, I actually have it set up. So while you were talking, I was prepping. See, I should be prepping before the show.
Oh, I think you said while you're talking, you were crapping.
I'm crapping. I'm taking a big one.
Just dropping some big dongeries off. I don't even know what a dongery is. That's some word. I hope it's nothing bad.
Dungarees are a brand of pants.
Okay, yeah. So you're dropping some big dongeries in the pot.
It's what my grandmother calls jeans. Can you see my picture I put up?
I can absolutely see it.
All right, so that's Ezio, right? They don't show me what I'm sharing.
Yeah, I didn't get to see what I was sharing either.
That screws me up, man. How am I supposed to know what I'm doing here? Okay, well here's Ezio. This is from Assassin's Creed. He is the protagonist for Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, and Revelation. And you get to see his whole life, and it's what makes it so cool is you really like the level this character when you're done playing all 3 games, because you literally played him from his birth to his death, and I am using the word literally correctly here. You were literally playing his entire life.
Yeah.
Because and because the first thing you see in Assassin's Creed 2 is you see him being born. It's actually it's used as one of the ways to, they have that they make sure that you're the left stick and the right stick, how the right stick uses for moving your head around. That's how they do it. Is you're born, and and the doctor is checking your vitals.
So wait, you're moving his head around, watching you slide out of the womb.
No, you go and do that, but then the doctor's like, look and make sure he's healthy, and it's like, and then they check your motor skills real quick, and that's you doing all the control stuff. If I remember correctly, it's been forever since I played this, so if I'm wrong, please put it in the comments. They help. So yeah, it's but yeah, you really you go through his whole life pretty much, missing like bits and pieces here because like they don't cover the whole damn thing, but. Yeah, it's and he's just a killer character, especially like if you get into the game and you do the full upgrades and stuff, like you're unstoppable.
Yeah.
Unstoppable assassin.
So yeah, basically you're just wiping through the game at that point.
But it takes you a long time to get to that point. And usually by the time you're at that point, there's not much left to do. Like it's one of those games, like when you play through it the second time, you know what you should do. It's almost like if you got to live through your life again, you would know what to do financially. It's the same idea. You would go through the game, because a lot of it is financial. You need money to buy the latest weapons, and you want to put yourself in a position that when certain things open up and you could buy them at the store, because it's one of those type of games, you're financially ready to do it.
Yeah.
And it's something you want to really, especially in Brotherhood, where there's a lot of like Brotherhood and 2, there's a ton of like buying buildings and renovating and doing all this city planning almost. It's not like there's not actual city planning. You can't decide where you actually, there's no customization, but you can buy these shops, and what that does is that opens up discounts.
Mm.
And those discounts can be considerable. So in the beginning, you don't know this when you're first playing through the game, but when you play through it a second time, all of a sudden you're like, oh, I gotta get all this money together. I'm gonna go and build all this stuff as soon as I possibly can, so that when I have to buy all the stuff I need to buy, I can get these huge discounts on it all. And that's how I played through it. When I play through it again, I always try to build whenever the business stuff comes up, I go right into it, and just because, like I said, like later on, it saves you a lot of money.
It's like the GoldenEye syndrome, where, oh, okay, you want the invincibility code. In order to get the invincibility code, you have to beat one specific level in an insane amount of time that you have to be a super pro to actually be able to do. So by the time you get this invincibility code, you kind of don't need it because you're already overpowered.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, what you can avoid some of that in this game. And basically, I look at it as like you're just getting a lot of your grinding that you normally the game would actually rather have you pace throughout the game. You're just getting it all out of the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which, how many other games like RPGs are like that? It's like it's got some RPG elements, but nothing really major, like minor stuff. Like you could pick what color your cape is, and you know certain you can use certain weapons that you prefer over others, shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But yep, that's that one. Let me go and unshare my screen, or I think I could just close the window. Did I stop the share?
That did stop the sharing. Yes.
Okay.
All right. So this is actually the second time we've kind of talked about favorite game characters on the show. However, the first time we talked about it was way back, like one of our very, very first episodes. Because I remember this next character I'm going to talk about, I remember talking about with you. You had no idea how this character worked, why this character was so great. And I remember powering up the game to show you how good this character is. So this one's going to come from Castlevania. And this is going to come from a Castlevania that not many people touched. In fact, I call this the Nickelback of video games. Because this is the one that this Castlevania sucks. And it's like, okay, well, what's so bad with it? I don't know, I didn't play it. I just heard it sucked. So this character is from the N64 version of Castlevania, and you'll probably recognize this character when you see her, possibly if you remember that show. Do you remember talking about this character, Ben?
1 second.
Okay.
Oh no.
No, okay. This character, her name is Carrie Fernandez. So she's actually technically in both the N64 versions of Castlevania. That's the only time you're going to see her. What makes this character so amazing is that, so Castlevania 64 is the jump into 3D, which I'll admit didn't go completely smooth, but it went a lot better than most people make it out to be. And a massive reason why it works so well is because of this character. So the initial version of Castlevania 64, you get to choose between this character and a whip-wielding hero. That I don't know how he works into the Belmont legacy, really. I didn't play him much because I would rather play as Carrie. And the second one, you have to play through as one of the other characters that was supposed to be in the first version but didn't make it and once you beat it with that character, it unlocks the ability to play as the Belmont-esque guy and Carrie Fernandez. So what Carrie can do, instead of attacking with a whip or anything like that, she has magic orbs that she uses, that she fires off. So it's kind of like, think Dragon Ball Z, or think Street Fighter, where they're throwing fireballs. That's essentially what she does. However, what's awesome about her fireballs are her fireballs charge up and they seek out enemies. So an easy strategy with her is basically to charge up your fireball and have it holding in her hand. Then when you come to enemies, run away and fire off your fireball. And it will then go spin behind you and go and just destroy the people that are behind you. Or it'll just swirl around until it finds some targets or finally fizzes out. At that time, then you're now charging up your next fireball. So it's just you don't even have to. It's like it's a fire and forget, and it makes that 3D transition a whole lot easier. So for anyone who might have probably not played Castlevania 64, I say try it and try Carrie Fernandez. If you played it and you're like, oh, I didn't like it because it was 3D and it was hard to aim because I was using the guy with the whip. Okay, I respect you for playing it. I respect your opinion on saying it sucks. I do say go back and try Carrie Fernandez because it makes the game so much easier to take in. And she's just freaking awesome.
I'm sorry, the name Carrie Fernandez, she sounds like she plays shortstop for the Mets.
She does actually. That's in the Konami All Stars baseball All Stars game.
Fernandez.
Yeah, you got Carrie Fernandez on third base. You have Bill from Contra on first. Yeah, so it's actually you got Harry Mason as a catcher. So yeah, you might want to check that one out too. Actually, Carrie Fernandez, no, she's not a third base. She's a pitcher. So there you go. That's that one.
Perry Mason.
Perry Mason.
Who can we get on the case? Perry Mason.
There you go.
All right. Okay, so I went and I've been working feverishly looking for the proper pictures here while you've been talking. Working myself to the bone.
Mm-hmm.
And it should be up. Isn't this nice artwork? This looks like something that you could hang up on your wall. I wouldn't, because it's not my taste, but I could definitely see somebody wanting this. I'm going to be talking. This is going to be a two-parter in a way. I'm going to do it right in a row. It's about the same character, sort of, kind of, maybe Izzy. I don't know. It's Link. This is Link from Tears of the Kingdom / what was the one before this? Breath of the Wild. Yeah, there's Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom Link. There's different Links. So I'm going to be talking about Link together as my favorite two Links, I guess. So this one is one of my favorites because I put a ton of hours into playing both Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, 500 hours plus total for both games. So I had a lot of time with this guy. What's that?
Hold on, I gotta say this. There's many different Links, but there's only one Zelda. What a hoe.
Actually, there's different Zeldas too. This is, you know what? You want to talk about a kingdom with some strict traditions? There is always a Zelda. The princess is always named Zelda, and there's always some kid named Link who's out there in the kingdom somewhere. They got these names and they stick with them. Henry VIII. I am.
And at least she's always in the same castle. So maybe Mario should get that worked on. And I think you're the image. Oh, you're sharing the other one.
And then the other Link that I particularly like is the Hero of Time Link, who is from Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. Mm-hmm. And what's tragic about him is he dies in the beginning of the second game, and the entire second game is played in the afterlife, supposedly.
Yeah, which I'm okay with.
And you know what? If you play with Majora's Mask and you have that in mind, it adds a whole different level to the game.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this takes place in the afterlife, and everything I face in here has to do with like sin and like stuff like it's all. Yeah, it's like it's very deep if you go into it that way, which I mean, you've seen some of these Nintendo games. They did a lot of drugs over there, man. Who knows? That might have been the purpose of the game.
That's that's all natural because drugs are highly frowned on in that country on extreme level. So
Yeah, so in Korea as well, and I don't know of any Korean artist who smoked weed on the regular.
yeah, see, in Japan they wouldn't even know really what it smelled like.
Well, then maybe they were drinking, or maybe they're doing shrooms. I don't know. Maybe they're doing pharmaceuticals.
They just naturally come up with these crazy ideas.
Maybe that's it. Then maybe they're all just crazy naturally. But this is like they got some of the craziest ideas over there. Like, okay, let's make a hey for the new Zelda game. What if he's dead? And the whole thing. Oh my god, I'm doing my Triple H right now. Hey guys, I got a great idea. What if he's dead the entire game? But people don't know it, and they think he's dead the entire game. And at the end of the game, we pull the rug out from under them and show him he's been alive the entire time.
And they go, hold on. That's a good idea, but let's worry about that later. Let's have this game be it's a dream. And at the end he wakes up.
How about, yeah, instead of playing Super Mario Brothers 2, let's have them do a game where the whole thing is actually a dream and he's in Dream World and he fights a gigantic frog.
That's great, but why don't we make it instead a whole play? It's a play on stage.
It's a play. And if he goes on a white block and he bends down for too long, he ends up backstage.
Yes, and he needs to turn into animals.
Yes. If they keep carrying that on, it gets even worse. At one point, he turns into a cat.
There was a Nintendo Power contest where they're asking, what prize should we give away, and somebody actually wrote in about changing somebody into a raccoon, just like in Super Mario Brothers 3.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go and grow as much body hair as possible, and then surgically have a tail and have my ears altered. People are paying to do stuff like that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's like, and then like they pay to have all this elective surgery done, and then they complain that they're in pain.
Yeah.
Well, not to be an asshole here, but who ordered all this? All right. I'm going to close this because I'm done here.
Okay, so I'm keeping it on Castlevania, and I'm going with a character that probably not many know again, but this is actually my second favorite video game character of all time. And you're going to see this character. You may know who it is. You may not. Does that character look familiar to you at all?
Nope.
Maria Renard. Maria Renard is from Castlevania Rondo of Blood as a little girl. And then she becomes the character in Castlevania Symphony of the Night, who is a lady that's walking around the castle. So you don't get to play her in Symphony of the Night. However, in Nocturne in the Moonlight, which is the Saturn version, and before I go any further, there's going to be that content or the comment. I'm sorry. You can play her later in a different. That's nice. It's not the same. Nocturne in the Moonlight, she is playable out the door, as well as Richter's playable out the door. And you get access to the whole castle with her. What's really awesome about her is that you have access to all her spells as long as you know the combinations, which they're the same as Alucard's spells. So as long as you know Alucard's spells, you've got her whole moveset. She has one spell that when she casts it on herself, she becomes invincible. On top of that, she also damages everything that she touches. So now Alucard can technically do this with the poison mist, but you get that way later in the game. This you have out the door from her. So you're technically casting this, running through the castle, over everything, wiping it out. Then you wait on a spot for her magic to restore, cast it again, and just keep running again. And that makes her awesome. Now, in a later version of Symphony of the Night, she does become playable. I think it was a PlayStation portable version or something, but they changed her to make her play more like how she did in Rondo of Blood, which is different because she was throwing doves. I kid you not. She threw doves.
You did say doves. Okay, I didn't know you said doves or dubs.
Yeah, doves.
Like, what, she's trying to like weed everybody? Everybody get high.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think she was trying to like baptize everybody by throwing the dove at him. I don't know. It's really odd.
That does sound odd.
Yeah. All right, so you're back again.
Here I am, back again, wrecking a check, and let's begin. All right. So this one here, this is a little confusing. I don't mean the guy on the left. I mean the dog on the right, because I now understand the assignment. I didn't fully understand your assignment, but now I know you're doing favorite characters. It doesn't have to be the lead. Beautiful.
It doesn't have to be the lead, no.
Okay. This particular dog does not look like the dog that I had, but you can have a dog in Fable 2, and you end up falling in love with the little guy because he's the most helpful guy, like, ever. And, like, yeah, it's just, you can teach the dog new tricks, and it helps you find stuff, and it's just a great part of the game is having the dog. But now since we're on side characters, I'm going to take a quick backtrack. Like a politician during a debate. Let me go back to the previous question.
Mm-hmm.
Tulin. I love this guy. Tulin is from Tears of the Kingdom. He's also, I think he might show up in Breath of the Wild as a much younger one, a version of himself in that one, because here he's like, this is like you ever have basically Alita. This is a feathered male version of Alita. He's real good. He's a real go-getter, always in a good mood, very happy to be there, very respectful, and will help you kill everything you need to get killed. This thing, he was my favorite Avatar character in Tears of the Kingdom because he was the most helpful. Mm-hmm. I love this kid. In my virtual home in Tears of the Kingdom, there's a picture of my Link and Tulin because I had to have a picture with him. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so that was my backtrack. Because now that I understand what you mean by favorite characters, it doesn't have to be lead. Yeah, I love Tulin. Tulin is awesome.
Yeah, as long as they're on the hero side.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Tulin's like, yeah, he's like, oh, cool. We're gonna go out and go kill a bunch of monsters. All right, let me go grab my bow. He doesn't say that, but that's the kind of thing. Like, he's just like, go get her. Like, all right, kid, let's go get him, kid.
Yeah. Let's go get some trouble going.
Yeah, let's go have some fun.
Okay. You knew this was coming. You all knew this was coming. But you did not know it's coming on this level. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and you tell me who this is, Ben, and what game it is, what game series it is.
All right.
There it is, right there.
Is that Rebecca Chambers?
No. You're on the right game series, though. You're never going to get this one. I'm going to tell you why. This character is Elza Walker. Oh. I absolutely love Elza Walker, mainly because of...
Which one is she from?
That's the kicker. Elza Walker is from Resident Evil 2. However, Elza Walker is from the original version of Resident Evil 2 that was scrapped.
Oh, she's from the prototype.
She's from the prototype, yes. Yeah. She's a character that we never got.
It's a prototype like 1.5, they called it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it has leaked now, so you can technically play as Elza Walker. She's a complete mystery as to who she is. There's two things that are significant about this character. One is that Resident Evil 2, the new version, has an Elza Walker outfit. So I did spend the extra money for that DLC because I wanted to play through all of Resident Evil 2, that version, as Elza Walker. The second reason is because there was a Resident Evil 2 board game, and I like to mod my board games. And the very first character that I made to mod this, I had to do Elza Walker. So I had to set her up based off of the fact that we never got to play her. So what kind of ability should I give her? So I was giving, I think I gave her one where she can avoid an incident because she's not there. So she's one of those characters that I always wondered, like, what would this character have been like? And that makes it worth it to me. And that makes it one of those characters I just love because of that. Now, all the other Resident Evil characters, they're okay. So maybe we'll see her in a future game pop up finally. So,
But you can go and like just hound them over at Capcom until they do something with her.
yes, absolutely. She deserves to come back.
Did you hear about that guy who got arrested because he said his son had either a girl or some guy or whatever, he sent him like 20,000 text messages in like 5 hours? I remember a woman who did it. There was some story about that. It's just like, how do you even do that? You just like send message after message after message after message after message.
It'd have to be. That's great. All right, you're up.
Let's stay with Resident Evil, why don't we? Claire Redfield. Oh, what did you just say?
You didn't hear that. I said, let me reiterate that. Ugh. The character that replaced my character.
Yes. Well, your character just wasn't, hot enough. So they had to go and replace her with a hotter character. So they did.
Well, like I just said, I played through the remake of Resident Evil and changed Claire Redfield's outfit to be Elza Walker. So she made her way back. Like, go ahead. Why Claire Redfield?
Mostly because I just enjoyed playing Resident Evil 2, and then I did kind of enjoy Code Veronica, even though I swore never to play it again, but mostly because it was so freaking hard. I'm so bad at planning in those games. I still make it all the way to the end, and I got a little bit better where I do leave myself some ammo now, but like, man, nothing compared to what some people do. They get to the end of the game and they have like a whole arsenal of stuff that they saved.
Yeah, that's me. I'm that person. I'm like I have so many bullets I can just go ahead and kill everything now.
Well, I'm always trying to like kill everything. I'm not good at sneaking around. I just would rather kill the guy because I don't have to sneak through that room anymore. I can just walk through it from now on. Yeah. But then they start repopulating it with more enemies after a while. I don't know. I just like.
I'm the person that when I play it, I'll do an area knowing that I'm not going to save it, just so I can figure out how I can run around the enemies and where I need to go to get stuff, and then I'll redo the area completely, and then just avoid everything and get all the ammo, and that's how I stock up on everything.
Well, that's a good way to do it.
Yeah, and I also plan my routes. Like, okay, there's the mansion. I can get back to the main room on this side. I can get back to the main room on the other side. I've learned how to dodge or cleared out the enemies on the other side, so I'll take the long way and go that way, and I'll conserve my bullets that way too.
I love in the beginning of Code Veronica they get that cutscene, and they show her they show her running through the building.
Yeah, Terminator 2 style.
Yeah, it's very Terminator 2 style. And then she gets caught, and then she has to do a thing where she like does a thing where she drops her gun, but then catches it before it lands on the ground.
Yeah,
it's very cool. It's a very cool opening scene, and she's just a tough girl who's attracted.
I'm at least thankful that you didn't pick Jill Valentine over her, because if there's a character I like less than Claire Redfield, it's Jill Valentine.
Yeah, I think Claire Redfield just got a cool factor that Jill doesn't have.
I'm just glad that she can carry 8 items
Yeah.
and gets a pack. Actually, Jill Valentine could carry 8. Chris couldn't, but I still like Chris better than Jill Valentine in Resident Evil 1.
I like Rebecca Chambers.
Ugh. I don't know what it is about those horror games, but I guess it's a female character and I just don't like them in it. I don't know why.
Zero was an interesting game. I remember playing through that on the GameCube. That was a fun one. They had those puzzles where it kind of seemed like this should be a 2-player game when it's not, because it was like, okay, switch characters. Like, now you do something, I'll switch over to the other character. Now you do something, I'll switch back over to the other character. It's like, God, if I just, had like a second controller and someone to play with, and the ability to do that, because it's not built into the game, that would be great.
Yeah.
It would take me like 5 minutes to do this instead of 15. Yeah. So that is Claire Redfield. I'm going to close this. And Mike, we are coming up on the Mike. You have a hard out tonight, so we have we're running.
Well, we'll keep going. It's fine. It's fine. I'm doing good. All right. So my next one is. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. That's Claire Redfield trying to be an awesome character, Elza Walker. My mistake. My next one is this one right here. Strider.
Yeah. Look at that keep. They threw that keep on him so that on the arcade it would stand out.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally why they did it. So you'd think, oh wow, look at the guy with the red cape, and probably there were like kids describing him that way. I wasn't one of them, but
Strider and where.
Sorry, go ahead.
Not arcade version, not Genesis, but the NES version of Strider is one of those comfort games that I can play through over and over. And I did. I played over and over again through this game. I just sit down and beat it in like one sitting just all the time. And I just loved it. And the character was just really cool because I've always been into like swords and kind of medieval stuff over guns. And, he has that big cipher weapon that's a big sword that he's swinging. And I liked how it had that handle, like he's holding the side handle. I always thought that was really cool, a really cool style to him. And then you get into like when he starts getting into the 1-on-1 fighters, he's a fun character to play as. He's a really quick character. And I tend to rack up a lot of damage on enemies using him. So he just became one of those characters that's like one of my favorite Capcom characters of all time.
Mm.
Now, the most recent game that they had, and I say most recent because it's not really all that recent. It goes back to like PlayStation 3. It wasn't as fun as I hoped it would be, as fun as the NES game was, but it still had this really cool Metroidvania factor to the character. And I like how he's, climbing up the walls, climbing on the ceiling, kind of like a Spider-Man style to him.
Cool.
So yeah, so that's my next one. And with that, I pass the mic back to you, Ben.
I'm kind of done. I could done. Yeah, I couldn't. I could probably think of more, but I'm like, we don't have a lot of time, and also just like,
Oh dear.
why? How many more you got? I mean, we could do this again. We always do part.
I'm gonna throw out just 3 more, and I got the perfect one to end on. Let me just get those 3 up really quick. And I'm sure that the first one, you're not going to be surprised to see the first one. You're going to know that one's coming. So let me open up this one if I can. Oh man, all these pictures are so small, so they're going to be kind of like blurry, but that's okay. Who cares? Let me get the last one, because this last one has got to be the most awesome character that has ever existed in any game, period. And that is so blurry bad. I'm gonna have to try to find a new picture. Sorry, I wasn't prepared because I figured you might have more. So I'm scrambling here. And that's good enough. Okay. So, Ben, I want you to think about a character that you know that I use a lot, that I love a lot.
Okay.
You got anyone you can think about who you know would show up on this list?
Okay. Do you want me to say it?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you just wanted me to, like, to guess it. And, I don't know, Simon Belmont.
No, you're gonna be disappointed when you see this.
Oh, that's right, Princess Peach.
Yes.
You use her all the time. I didn't know
All
about
the freaking time.
Yeah.
It all goes back to Super Mario Brothers 2, but more so Super Smash Brothers Melee.
I mean, if you want to go and like look up like my version of that, you just look up Luigi. I use Luigi. I've been using him since Super Mario Brothers 2.
Yeah, I like Luigi as well too, but he was a little hard to control in the air. I love the levitation she has.
See, Luigi gets more height.
Yeah, that's true.
She can go and get actually her and him can get about the same distance too, I think. She might get a little bit more distance than he does, but his height is ridiculous. And I use that all the time to cheat my way through levels on really not really cheating. I'm not like using a game genie. I'm playing by the rules. But skipping parts of the levels in Mario 2. Mario 2, if you know what you're doing, you can skip a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And you with a good jumper like Peach or using Luigi, you know, a lot of that stuff is possible.
Yeah. But when you get to Smash Brothers, she is my main character. You will struggle to knock me off. And I played so many matches either against the computer or against friends, because that's one I if there's more than one person there, if I have a party, I'll play like a party fighter with people against people. I don't really like one-on-one against people because I've seen too many issues happen with that. But a party fighter is fine. And there's been times that I played like Smash Brothers with Alan, Matt, and I don't remember who the third one was. I don't think it was Barrett, but it was somebody. And every single time I'll pick Peach and I'll come up on top because you can't knock her off because of her levitation. My buddy and I, we used to play Smash Brothers together, and I would use Peach and he would use Zelda because Zelda has teleportation. And it was a battle between him and I would just drag unless we set like a time limit, because we couldn't knock each other off. So it got to the point where like, you know what, screw this. We're going to be on a team. And we were we play in the morning before work against the computer, setting the difficulty up pretty high, and we were still just not getting knocked off. So that's why I like Peach so much. And it's now been a thing, like every single time I'm going to play a Mario game where I get to select a character, first character I'm going to go to is Peach.
Yeah, I remember when we were in the arcade doing Mario Kart, and you picked her every time, and I picked a different character every single race.
Yeah.
Now I settle on Luigi. I was playing Mario Kart here actually with at a friend over, and we were playing Mario Kart, and I just settled on Luigi. I just picked him right away.
Yeah. See, I'll like, if you told me that the next Mario Kart that they made Peach have the slowest and worst controlling vehicle, I wouldn't care. I'll still be Peach. That it's just how it is now. So
She has to wait extra 10 seconds before she could start, and she's always in the back of the pack.
yeah,
It's the worst weapons.
and she's got the best trash talk line that has ever existed in any video game, period. And I think it comes from Smash Brothers Brawl. When she wins a match, do you know what she says?
What?
In Peach, where she goes, "Oh, did I win?"
Oh, I remember that. She says it in the racing game too, doesn't she?
I don't know what she says in the racing game, But that is the best trash talking line that has ever existed because it's such a smack in the face to everybody else.
Yeah.
So, all right, so that's that character. The next one is an interesting choice as a hero because technically, if you think about this game, it doesn't. You don't really have you have heroes and villains, but you don't really think of heroes and villains in this. However, this is definitely on a character that's on the good side. And that's this character here, which I know is pretty blurry of a picture, but I had to grab something quick, and that's a Rose from Street Fighter. Mainly Street Fighter Alpha series is the version that I like. And why I say she's a good character is you probably don't know this, Ben. She and Bison use the same power, and I believe it was, if the story goes something like Bison's good side of the psycho power split off and it became her.
Oh, there's a whole story, huh?
Yeah, but there's a whole story. I don't even bother with the story. All I want to do is get in and kick some butt.
You know, fighting game stories are like they're almost as bad as like in some games. So in some games, I'm sure they have really good stories, but for the most part, they're almost like the stories in a porn movie.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
you're just there to see the skin touching skin. You're not really there to learn about how this happened.
Everyone did the same thing. They just press through the buttons to get through the dialogue, just like they do in porn.
Yeah, nobody's there for the story. You know, it's like, uh,
Yeah, this is my favorite game character of all time, pretty much, except for the next one is very special. So it's kind of a two-way tie when I say that, but overall, the way that the character plays, the way that I just like intuitively know how to use this character, puts her at the top of my list.
hmm.
So,
Very
so
good.
that's Rose. I don't even know I said her name. Yeah, that's Rose. Which I've been laughed at for using, which I tend to get laughed at for using some of my characters in Street Fighter. Um, yeah, and then and one guy who was my buddy used always teased me. It's like, you use Rose. Why would you use the character like that? And then like in Street Fighter 3, you use Elena. Why? And then I have to show him. So on to the final one. Now this one's very special. If you don't know this character, which you probably don't, I highly recommend looking this up because this isn't just the character, this is the game itself. And how seriously this game takes it. And there was a period where for Matt for Christmas, I kind of did this little joke where I was making Christmas cards, just hand Christmas cards as a joke. And the first card I gave him was it said something like, for Christmas, all these characters wanted to come out to wish you happy birthday. And I had this big grid that was completely blank with like character names at the bottom of the boxes. At the bottom, I said, but then they found out that I would have to draw it and they didn't want to waste their time. Well, except one character. And then you open it up and you have a drawing of him and him wishing Matt a Merry Christmas. And then the next year, I did this whole skit of him going to, a certain area, let's just say, and experiencing in that certain area, and it just fit in with the vibe of this character. So the final character I'm going to do is this guy right here. This is Rising Zan, the samurai gunman. And if that sounds crazy, you don't know the half of it. If you've never heard of Rising Zan, I would recommend going to YouTube and just watch the intro for the game. It has its own, he has his own song, his own theme song. And that theme song itself explains everything you need to know about the character.
Hmm.
It's like it's like a spaghetti western samurai joke fest, goofy feel game and character. And so this is the reality of this character is in the dialogue on the first level, his name is Johnny. So the story is just a quick story. he was the best gun in the West. And then he met somebody who outdid him, so he went to Japan and become a samurai, and then came back as the hero Zan. And in the beginning, you run into like the mayor of the city from where he's from or something like that, and he's like, "Johnny, is that you?" He's like, "No, I'm the super ultra sexy hero Zan." And then the guy goes, "What are you talking about?" And that's the whole vibe of the game.
Hmm.
And it actually has, I don't want to say like fatalities, but like when you beat the boss, you have to mash all the buttons to get enough power, and then you do all these combos on the boss as fast as you can, and you get like, points towards your grade at the end, and then it ranks you and everything. And there's also like all button mashing events. So it's just a game that doesn't take itself seriously, and it makes it a whole bunch of fun. So yeah, I'd recommend checking out the intro to it, the theme song. You probably like YouTube Rising Zan theme song and get it, because the song is just as goofy as the game.
Cool.
So with that, that would be the end of the list.
Yes. That was a lot of stuff. You just kind of went through that almost like a robot, Mike.
Yes, just like a robot.
It's like a robot.
I'm kind of in disguise here.
Yeah. Makes me wonder what's gonna happen next week. What's these robots? I got this vacuum that goes around the house, and then I saw they got this new thing called the Yarbo that's going around. It can go and do your driveway and mow your lawn. The robots are taking over, Mike. What's going on next week?
Next week, we are watching Rise of the Robots. 6 movies we're reviewing. So next week is going to be Westworld versus Terminator. Transformers animated movie from 1985 versus Transformers Michael Bay live action. And Pacific Rim versus Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla.
Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. It's its own title. It's not like a three-way.
Yes, exactly.
It's a three-way. Pacific Rim versus Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. No, we're not doing that.
It's a 3-way with Pacific rimming.
No, not that kind of three-way. Not the... wrestling three-way. Wrestling.
So we'll be seeing, we'll be watching those next week and giving our opinions on them.
Yes. That's going to be next week. That's going to be exciting. I'm a little ahead than what I normally am, maybe, or maybe I'm behind. I don't know, but I've watched one of the movies so far, and it got me.
It's kind of where I am too. I've watched 6.
You watched all of them.
I watched all of them.
Yeah. Well, do I? So I have all these movies. They're all up on my server.
Yes, they should be.
Okay, because you watch, that's why you said you watched them all. So I'm assuming you watched them all on my server. I think I wasn't sure if I had Pacific Rim or not. I had no idea the other one. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And with that,
I hear the music.
I do hear the music as well. Do you want to give the final word?
I will give the final word.
And that is
Samurai Gun Man.
that's multiple words.